Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and thanks for watching my new video. I am actually feeling this look over here. I posted a photo on Instagram with a kind of like a neon eye, and this one looks even better than the look I did. But and I asked you guys if you want to see a tutorial, and a lot of you said yes please. So your demand, your wish is my demand. Anyways, if you are curious on how I created this look and this highlighter, if you're curious, then keep on watching. It's makeup time. I wanted to do my hair, you know, look all pretty and all that, but I have no idea why my hair gets so greasy so fast, and I've never experienced that because my hair is super dry. And usually I wash it like twice a week. I try to wash twice a week, but usually it's like 3 times a week. And now I just wash my hair. The next day it's oily. Like, I don't get it. It's super oily, especially like on my scalp. It's just super greasy and I can't do anything with my hair. And I don't understand why. Maybe because I'm eating way more healthy fats, but it's super oily. I don't know what to do. Honestly, I never understood girls that wash their hair like every day. I was like, oh my God, that's so bad for your hair. And now I actually do completely understand them. So in today's video, I want to do the look that I did on Instagram, the neon look. And I asked you guys if you want to see a tutorial, and you guys said yes. Well, the majority said yes. So that's what I'm going to do. It's actually a super easy, fun tutorial, and I think it's wearable even though we're going to use color. Usually I do my brows off camera already, but I have a new brow product that I'm really liking. And this is the Urban Decay Brow and Brown Doubt product. You have a primer and a color, and I was like, what kind of product is this? Because it's weird, like a primer for your brows. But it has two sides. One is the primer, and I already applied a little bit of this primer on this brow. You can see it's kind of like feathery, and on this brow I applied nothing. So yeah, it's kind of like the soap brow effect, and it's really nice to get bushy brows even though I don't have a lot of hair going on. And then on the other side we have the colored, like a brow gel, I would say. And this is the color taupe, which is a very nice color. So we are going to try to do bushy brows. I actually always want to do bushy brows, but I end up with Instagram brows that I actually don't like anymore. So I'm going in with this primer, even though I applied it on this brow, but so you can see the effect. So this is quite a lot, but I just use my fingers to kind of like brush it out. If you don't like feathery brows, you can just kind of like cut the, you know, this is quite long, but you can kind of like cut the hairs and still have this beautiful brushed brow. Going to do the same here. Now I'm taking the side with the color taupe and I'm going over my brows. If you have kind of like, I call them like Asian brows, obviously I have like a Asian background. So one brow, I have the hairs growing down, which is super annoying. But I know that a lot of Asian girls have the same problem. So this could be a very good brow gel if your hairs kind of like grow downwards. And then Urban Decay is also a brow blade product, but for some reason I just wish it was more pigmented, because now if I use it, it looks okay, but only like in the front, because I can't get enough pigmentation to really define this part of the brow. So what I do is I actually use a brow pencil as well together with this, or I just use this MAC Shape and Shade brow tint, which I think is a little bit better than the Urban Decay one. So I'm going to use this. This is in the shade Spiked, and it has kind of like a pen. So I'm not going to fill everything in, just the places where I feel like I have a gap. I know it doesn't look very pretty yet, but I'm going in with my Precisely Brow Pencil from Benefit. And I'm just going to define this area right here. Like that. After that, I'm going to clean everything up with the Born This Way concealer from Too Faced. Okay, like that. I usually never define above the brows because I feel like it looks unnatural, but because I didn't fill everything in, and it's okay to see some kind of gaps because I feel like that looks way more natural. So I don't really mind defining the upper part of the brow. I don't know if that's a thing, but above my brows. So I did both of my brows and I actually really like the color, and even though this is a bit shiny because the pen still needs to dry, but I feel like they're looking a bit more natural-ish when you compare it to my, previous tutorials. When I look at my previous tutorials, I'm like, anyways, some people say, oh my God, I'm binge watching your videos, and I'm like, I hope you watch the newest tutorials, you know what I mean? Anyways, we are going to do the eyes, and I thought, first of all, I'm going to use natural colors first, to get the transition and a nice crease color going on. And I wanted to use the baked browns from Dose of Colors, and I thought, no, you're using too much Dose of Colors. So I thought, let me use this palette because I haven't used this before, and it's drugstore, and I heard very good things about it. It's the Swear by It from NYX Cosmetics. I think this was the back to school collection, this is a perfect palette because you can do everything with it. So I am going to warm up the eyes because we are going to kind of like cut it in half and then do the neon colors with a little bit more expensive palette, but not too expensive, like still affordable, but not drugstore. I'm going to use this Morphe M422 brush. Oh my God, there's something like a hair. And let's see, I haven't seen the colors yet. I think I'm going in with this beautiful warm orange color right here. This one. Okay, so I am going to place this on my eyelids, make sure we have no creases. I also applied a little bit of the Too Faced concealer on my eyes to kind of like prime and correct at the same time. Ooh. I forgot for a second. The color payoff is beautiful, but sometimes when you just blend the eyeshadow, it looks like as if you applied nothing on your eyes. It just looks awful and patchy. And often with drugstore palettes, you will have that problem. So I'm very curious. I hope that this palette is not like that. But oh my God, NYX Cosmetics. I'm impressed. Okay, so just creating a panda eye. I'm not blending anything yet. As you can see, I'm bringing the shadow all the way up to here because we are going to cut the crease from here. And then with a blending brush, this is from Anastasia Beverly Hills. I believe this was in one of their palettes. I am going to, this is clean by the way, I am going to blend the edges. Oh my God, this is such, oh, no. This is also Anastasia. This is Boozy Brush Taper Blending Brush. So I'm going to use this brush. It's a clean brush, but I'm just going to fade the edges like that. It blends really nice. No patchiness. Color is still there. I like it. So now I'm going in with a deeper color, but I don't want this color to be like too warm. So I'm not going in with something red, but more like something brown. So let's do this color right here. Maybe mix with a tiny bit of this color because I don't want it to look too blackish, you know what I mean? So I'm going to use this. I know my brushes, they're all clean, but I still have to organize them. So I'm going to use this tiny little Urban Decay brush, but this will do. This is from the, I think the Beach collection, but use a taper blending brush, and then I'm going to mix these two to darken up the crease. The crease à la crease. Okay, let's go. Okay. So I'm going in with this color, like right there. I always feel like I get like super, almost stoned. I've never been stoned, by the way, but I get this high kind of feeling when I apply a darker color on my eyes. Is that weird? I'm like, yes. You know what I mean? And then with the Zoeva Petite Eye Blender brush, I am going to blend the edges into the orangey color that we've used. It's time to cut the crease. I'm going to use this Born This Way Too Faced concealer again. Usually I really liked using a kind of like drying concealer because I felt like, I don't know, that was more suitable for if you want to cut the crease. But I find this is a little bit more liquidy. So if I make a mistake, I can really easily correct it because I can move the concealer. And with the dry concealer, I feel like you either have to do a perfect cut crease or else, you're just beeped up, So anyways, I'm going in with this concealer. I'm starting here. I'm doing both eyes at the same time because it's really hard to make them symmetrical. Okay, so first I'm just using the wand of the concealer and then I'm going in with a flat brush to perfect the shape. Now I'm just going to perfect everything with this brush. So it should look something like this. I know it looks a little messy on the ends, but I'm just going to blend that into the shadows. So now I'm taking my MAC palette. This is the Art Library Designer palette. It's a very colorful, but I feel like a very unique palette. This shade is stunning. And then you also have the names right here. So I'm going to use Chrome Yellow, which is obviously the yellow color, together like mixed with the neon shade, which is My Kid Could Make That. I like that name. And to kind of make the color pop, I'm going to use the two shimmers as well, especially this one because it's kind of like a golden shade, which is If It Ain't Baroque. I'm going to apply that with the Dose of Color brush. I feel like I'm only using palette brushes, but this is the Dose of Colors brush, and yeah, you guys know why. So let's jump into these colors. I'm going to do the matte two shades first. I'm just going to pack this right here. I think that looks really nice and unique. So that's done. I'm going to wet the same brush and I'm going in with this beautiful golden color. I know it doesn't really do justice on camera, but the shimmers, it's really good. Oh, wow. This looks absolutely stunning. Let me perfect this. Oh my God. So good. So I think this looks amazing and super unique. I mean, the shimmers in this palette, so gorgeous. I'm going back to the Swear by It palette from NYX Cosmetics, and I think we are going to darken up the edges, but also we are going to do something with the middle because we can't leave that blank. Well, we can, but that's not the look that I'm going for. So I think I'm just going to use the same brush, you know, the wet brush, and I'm going in with this color right here, which is slightly more, I would say, copperish, and I'm going to place that next to this beautiful greenish shade like that. This shade is pretty. Can't believe that I'm doing this look with palette brushes. And then last but not least, I am going to darken up the edges, create some kind of a smoky outer corner, but not too smoky. So I think I'm just going back to this brown color that we've used before in the crease, and I'm going to, you know, make it a little darker. So for some reason, the darker color doesn't really look good on the outer corner. It blends like a nightmare. Oh my God. So I have a little bit of micellar water. I'm going to get rid of the fallouts, but I'm also going to correct the eyeshadow because I feel like, you know, this looks messy. Maybe it's because of my base, I'm not sure. So that's why I'm going to use a tiny bit of this black color from the MAC palette. If this is going to blend good, then it was the NYX Cosmetics palette. So let's see, but just a tiny bit to get rid of the patchiness right there. Okay, so I like that. So just like that. So I think I'm liking this way better. This looks good. To get rid of this harsh line right there, because I'm really not liking it, I am going to use this lighter color from NYX Cosmetics with a tiny bit of shimmer, and it's this color right here. And I'm going to put that under my brow bone. So this is what I'm talking about. This looks way better. Like that. I'm quickly going to do the same on the other eye, and then I'll be right back because we are going to do base. I feel like this eye look took forever. Be right back. So the eyes are pretty much done. We are going to apply lashes and do our under eyelids in a second, but I'm going to do the base first, and I actually wanted to use a different primer than what I usually do. And this looks super oily, but I've never tried this. This is from Beauty Bakery, and this is baking oil. So when I first got it, I was like, baking oil, so I didn't really understand, like, do I put this first before baking my face? But it's actually just a facial oil, and you use this before applying makeup. So Let's see what this is going to do. I hope it's not going to break me out, but we'll see. Just a tiny bit. I'm not going to put too much. It smells really good. Oh my god, am I not going to look too oily? I love a dewy look, but I don't like to look super oily, you know what I mean? Maybe it will look very good with the foundation. So today's foundation is L'Oreal True Match. This is in the shade Sun Beige. Haven't used this foundation in a long time, but I actually really like this foundation. So I'm going to put a little bit on the back of my hand. I hope you know I'm rolling so low after tonight. Oh yeah. I'm going to use this BH Cosmetics brush in number 4. This is actually a powder brush, but IDC. The shade is nice. Okay, let's go for this. Oh my god. Oh, I'm not sure if the shade is. It does match my neck though. Oh my god, the coverage is amazing. All the redness is gone. Looks so flawless. For concealer, I'm going to use the Too Faced Born This Way concealer first, because this is kind of like my own skin color, and I use this to kind of like correct first and then brighten up later with another concealer, because you guys know I love to be a tiny bit brighter underneath my eyes. So I'm just going to use my fingers to blend this. And what I really love about this concealer is actually like illuminating, and it's sheer, but it has, I would say, like a light to medium coverage. But I don't know, this, I think I just like it more than a lot of full coverage concealers. The second concealer that I'm going to use is ColourPop No Filter Concealer. This is actually a very, I wouldn't say very, but a more drying concealer. So the concealer underneath, you know, the Too Faced one is actually very dewy. So if you're very dry underneath your eyes, that is going to be a very good concealer for you. And this is quite drying, but I don't like to really powder my under eye area because it looks, you know. But also, if you don't use baking powder or translucent powder to set your under eye area, I feel like the concealer is going to move into your fine lines. But with this concealer, since it's a bit more drying, you don't really need to powder it, because if you wait, the concealer will dry a little bit. So you don't need to use the powder or that much powder. You can use a tiny bit of powder. But yeah, that's just my opinion. So I'm just going to leave it like this for a second for everything to dry a bit. Meanwhile, I'm going to do my bronzer and, you know, my blush. The bronzer that I'm really into lately is this Cheerleader palette that you've seen in my previous tutorial, I think. I love mixing the Hoola. You know, I love using this shade to contour my face with, but then warm my shade with this beautiful caramel, Hoola caramel color. And for highlighter, I'm going to use a stunning highlighter. Stunning. I will show that to you in a second. First, I'm using this Hoola bronzer with this brush from BH Cosmetics, and this is number 4. So I know the contour looks a little smudgy, so I'm going in with my foundation brush and kind of like perfect it. Like that. So jawline, got that, a little bit underneath my lips, sides of the forehead. And then with this Iconic London brush, this is, it doesn't have a name, but this brush, I am going to slightly contour my nose. And then with this big fluffy brush, this is also from BH Cosmetics and number 1, I am going to take this Hoola caramel color, but be careful with this because it's quite dark. It's actually a little too dark for me, but you know, I just love looking a little bit bronzed. So just tap the excess off. I'm just going to roughly bronze up the face. I think the Hoola caramel is so beautiful that they should do only a bronzer, just like not in a palette, but Hoola caramel bronzer as well. Look at that. It looks like I just came from Hawaii. By the way, we're going to use powder in a second. I'm also going to use a tiny bit of the blush, which is in the Cheek Leader palette as well, which is Coralista. I'm just using the same brush. So good. So now I'm going to use the highlighter, and this highlighter. So the highlighter that I'm talking about is from Nebla, and you guys corrected me. It is an Italian brand. I said Spanish. So scusa for that. Did I pronounce it right? Scusa. Scusa. So sorry for that. Italian brand, and I am going to use this highlighter, which is in the shade Crown. The packaging already looks absolutely stunning, but hi, how are you? I always feel like Jeffree Star, kind of Jeffree Star in my mind when I swatch something and he's like, hey, highlighter, how are you? And I'm just like, yes. So I'm going to use the highlighter with my Anastasia Beverly Hills in 823 brush. And look at this highlighter. What is this? Oh my goodness. Skin is gleaming. Oh my god, look at this glow. Thank you. Not next, because I love you. So I'm going to use a little bit of powder because, you know, I look super dewy. The powder that I'm really obsessed with lately is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish powder. And I thought, you know, everyone was talking about this. I'm like, let me see what the hype is about, but it is so worth the hype. It's like a very nice blurring, mattifying primer without looking too powdery. It doesn't even look powdery, it's just your face, but it just gets rid of the shine. So it's really beautiful, airy powder. I mean, like, look at that. I get really oily around my mouth, right there, also a little bit there. Also going to set my eyes a tiny bit with powder, but that's it. This look, I'm living for this look. I'm going to finish off the eyes. I'm going to keep the under eye quite simple because I want the neonish color to really get all the attention. So I am going back to this palette right here. I didn't like the darker colors, but the orangey colors and the red color and the shimmery color was beautiful. So let me grab a brush. Is there a clean brush left? Jeez, I need to get my life together. If we do kind of like orangey look, it's not going to look good. Okay, I think I am going to use a gray brownish color. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to mix this gray color together with this dark brown color, but just a tiny bit of the dark brown because it's really hard to blend for some reason, like that. Put this right here. Ooh, that looks nice. Should we do a pencil on my waterline? Or should I just leave it like that? Make sure to always connect right there. I really like it. I also like the color underneath my eyes. This one's a little bit more smoky, so let's fix that real quick. So on my waterline, if I'm always in a doubt, like should I do something in my waterline or not, I don't want to use a very dark pencil because I feel like that's going to make my eyes look a little smaller. But I have this product that I use if I don't know what to do with my waterline because it's beautiful and it goes with every look, which is a pencil from Zoeva. And it's this one right here, which is called Morphology, and it's kind of like a stick. It's like a shimmery stick kind of thing, but it's really nice because you kind of have a little bit of shimmer going on. It's really nice with brown eyes. Sometimes brown eyes don't really like pop the same as green eyes or gray or blue, but this one I feel like, yes, it adds a little bit of, you know, do you see that? Do we see that? I've also used this a tiny bit the other day and I did a wing liner. A tiny one because, you know, no space. And I used this a little bit on top of the liner to smoke it out and it looked really good. Like that. Sometimes I make like the ugliest faces like that and my husband won't edit it out. I'm like, don't you see how ugly I look? He said, yeah, I do, but I thought it was normal. The shade. Oh, I think we look nice. Nice. I'm going to line my lips with a MAC Whirl lip liner, and I'm also going to use this Noisette liquid lipstick from Jouer. I think this is liquid lipstick, not a gloss or lip cream. We'll see how that goes. If it's too dark, I'm going to apply a little bit more of a nude color in the center. So let's go. So now I'm going in with this lip cream. It is a very nice color. It's super comfortable. I actually really like the color. So I'm just going to leave it like this. I'm going to apply some mascara, some lashes, and then I'll be right back to do a little bit of posing. So this is the end result. I actually really like this look. This turned out to be even better than the look I did on Instagram. But yeah, me likey. The lips felt a little dry, so I applied a little bit of a skinny dip also from Jouer. I applied Miami lashes, L'Oreal Unlimited mascara, which is the weird one with the bending wand. And I also applied a tiny bit of this cookie highlighter in my inner corners to get, I don't know, some sort of glow there. And that is pretty much what I did. I hope you guys like this tutorial. I really did. And this highlighter is. Let me zoom you in because I really want you guys to see the base. You guys know it looks different with the lights off, but let me just, obviously we have some texture going on, but nothing cakey, you know what I mean? Look at this eye. I like it. Do you see that? Me likey, me likey. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Please give this video a thumbs up if you like it. If you didn't like it, don't give it a thumbs down, but just move to another video. Leave me a comment, subscribe to my channel if you haven't done that already, and follow me on Instagram, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!